Wow, you wake up in a pine forest in the middle of Sweden or Japan. Instead of having a bunch of me scattered around you, you have an infinite number of trees that coincidentally have my name. Your stomach growls. You think about eating something, preferably something delicious. Even better if it's something fancy. Slap me twice and take me to me mother. Could this be a Shimeji? Leophyllum shimeji, the master, the beautiful in various shades, the most normal looking fungi you see around. But don't be fooled. Even though it looks ordinary, it hides its real ability. Beautiful above, below, a mycology class, very common in Asian countries and the north of Europe. For us mere mortals in the western world, it's almost something mystical that only other people can have. In Japan, it's considered the mushroom with perhaps the best taste, of an exquisite taste. It has a certain umami in its flavor, whatever that exactly means. Completely docile like your grandfather's chihuahua. It may be beautiful, but without preparation, its taste is very bitter, bad as hell. But unless you are very versatile in the foraging arts, you shouldn't even be trying to eat mushrooms straight from the ground like that. To a normal person's eye, in the blink of an eye, a Leophyllum shimeji can look like this, Amanita phalloides, also known as death cap. And we don't want to see people falling over after 2 days because they ate the wrong mushroom, after finding a small stumpy group of death on the ground after they spawned in a Swedish forest, right? That's why we have to know first how to identify fungi. Fungi? I'm not sure of the pronunciation, but that's why I'm here. I went to college in a similar field, but don't trust me. Basic mycology. Fungi are legal things in our world, and to get to know them, we need to know a lot about their anatomy and their taxonomy before even thinking about picking up one around. Fungi are not just a stick and a semicircle on the top. They come in all sorts of different shapes, sizes, and anatomy. They are divided mainly by their characteristics. So this and this may both be mushrooms, but their division, class, order, family, and genes are completely different. Right now you must be hurting for not paying attention in the biology class of yours, right? Even though I'm talking very quickly here, I'm not going to talk about a bunch of different names for all the fungi, because otherwise you get all confused there. But fundamentally, fungi are heterotrophs. They don't make their own little food. That's why they are not plants. The things eat, okay? Well, they don't really eat. They absorb the stuff they need to live from the environment. How? With digestive enzymes. So, right, you already understand. They eat, but they don't eat. Hey, I see you sleeping back there. Wake up, goddamn. This is important. So, by releasing these enzymes, they decompose organic matter. It's basically because of them that you don't walk through a forest with a piece of tree from 2000 years ago everywhere. If that were the case, you would see dead animals everywhere you went, and you would be stepping on the bodies of 500 creatures when you went for a walk on a trail. Okay, got it why fungi are not plants. Plants just want to know where there is sunshine, water. I do photosynthesis. While fungi are over there with death, enzyme, and metal. Alright, you usually see a mushroom or a tree trunk, right? Because they use this trunk to live, whether it is alive or dead. So fungi can be both symbiotics that help the host giving nutrients to the plant and such, and also parasitics that want to fuck with those who maintain their life. So when they die, they already had enough time to cause chaos and spread their spawners everywhere. That's not the fungus itself, that's basically the fruit. Remember I said that the fungus is not a plant? Well, that makes sense, right? Anyway, the fungi is underground in the substrate, in a complex of several hyphae, forming the mycelium. That's why mine has that name, right? Anyway, so if you see a cute little stick like that, and have the urge to kick it and make it fly 69 meters, you are not hurting it. It's actually helping it, because you will spread its spores everywhere, and after a while, it will grow more. This is almost literally a fruit, with its different types of seeds, because with fungus, nothing can be normal. But just a tip, you don't want to inhale too many spores, okay? Otherwise, you are going down in a body bag with lycoperdenosis and won't know why. Okay, that's the basics. Fungi can be as basic as a single cell thing, or a gorgeous fancy mushroom. We were talking about a mushroom that you found in the forest and all. That's the one if you don't remember after I said so many words. Shimeji is a mushroom, but shimeji are two mushrooms. Ha, see, you think it's easy if I didn't tell you. Little John would be there dead on the ground in the middle of the forest. We have the one known as Hon Shimeji, which is the Liophyllum shimeji. Its identification is relatively difficult, as there are several other mushrooms that are not very friendly, very similar in appearance, so to be safe, use a PCR diagnosis to identify it. You are not going to tell me that you don't have this machine in your kitchen. Everyone does, but it's fine, in the forest you won't have one of those anyway. If this mushroom isn't sold by a regulated company, chances are you won't see one on your morning walk anyway. They are quite rare. But we have the second shimeji, Buna shimeji, Hypsizygus tessulatus. Yeah, it doesn't have shimeji in its scientific name, but it's more common than the other shimeji, and that's the one we found growing on this girl's head. Heads are not the environment they should normally grow in. Was supposed to be on a tree trunk and such. Okay, this grows all over the world, not just Asia. Do you have a temperate climate? Amazing. Put it on a beech tree and success. Hypsizygus tessulatus is easier to identify than its sibling with a not so similar name. This one you don't necessarily need a PCR test in your kitchen. Leave that for later. Basically, you have to take it and look at it. Look at the cap. That's the pileus. Is it brownish? What's the format? Does it go up? It's straight, convex? Yeah. Look at the stipe now. The stem is smooth. Is there anything on it? Not even a skirt? Good. Some agaric mushrooms have a skirt called annulus on the stem, which is what remains of the partial veil that protects the lower part of the hat while the mushroom is growing. Basically turns into a skirt when it's time to have sex. Now turn it upside down. Don't be afraid, it's the private parts, but it's a mushroom. What do you see under the hat? To be a Hypsizygus tessulatus, there must be these several lines very close to one another called lamellae. It is here in the hymenium that the spores are made. So if you did all of the things that I said and are still in doubt, remove the stem and put the lower part of the hat in something dark. If it make a white, yellowish shape, great. Throw it in a pan because it's safe to say you have a Hypsizygus tessulatus on your hands and it's time to make a feast. I'm not going to say there are two forms of this either. Yeah, I lied. It doesn't have to be brownish, there's a white version too. I told you not to trust me. I make anime videos on the internet, damn. It's not like I'm Alfie aesthetics, but anyway, this nature doesn't make it, if you know what I mean. So if you find this one in the forest, boy, you must be on a trip. Congratulations, now you know exactly how a fungi works and how to identify a shimeji for a rainy day. With this knowledge, you are now armed to go deep into the forest with your basket, and when you find a mushroom that looks edible, look, just look, leave it there, maybe a little kick just to have more next year and go away. Buy it at the supermarket, that at least your life won't be at risk. The difficulty there is limited by your ability to read the label, because it's definitely not just watching this video that will give you enough knowledge to be able to do this anywhere and make sure you are not picking up anything wrong. It's not like mushrooms grow like that on your head when you feel like it, you know. What the hell was that? Ah, it's a dreamstorm. You entered it and go on a journey. Not that, seriously, you spent 8 minutes of this video talking about fungi. Of course, that's what was inside the stone, talk about shimeji. Fungi are hella cool. You were supposed to talk about the shimeji simulation mango, not the shimeji mushroom. Those who haven't read it won't understand anything that's going on here. Yeah, I mean, I think not even those who have read it won't understand anything either. These little stories at the beginning of the video are already getting out of control. Pine is going to fire us one of these days. Sorry, I just wanted to talk about mushrooms. Mushrooms are cool. Oi, 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 mushrooms are cool, wait! That's what happens when I let these two script the video. Where were we really? Yeah. Because of the video I did about Shoujo Shumatsu Gyoko, some friends recommended me a second manga made by the same person, Shimeji Simulation. Well, if the beginning of this video didn't already give you an idea, if you find someone in your life who knows how to explain what's going on in this story exactly, you can get married, okay? Because the thing here is crazy and the only limit is your imagination. imagination, literally. Remember that the one dancing on the screen whenever I say came out of a dreamstone? Well, the world of Shimeji Simulation is strange, but right away it isn't. We initially follow the beginning of a beautiful friendship between two girls as they enter high school. This is Tsukishima Shijima, a very reclusive and introverted girl. Yep, there in her head is a literal mushroom growing, so her nickname kind of became Shimeji because of it, right? And this is the extroverted, not at all diligent Yamashita Majime. And yeah, that's an egg on her head. Yes, it's also literal, it's not just a hat, it's really an egg. But with that in mind, you can already tell that there are some weird things here, but because of the art style and the storytelling format that is generally used for comedy strips, you kind of don't pay much attention to it, in the same sense that you don't go to watch Woody Woodpecker expecting it to be a realistic documentary about the bird's life. You just accept that the animal is a maniac tormenting anyone in the world. But here, in Shimeji Simulation, the strangeness is the story. It's not an artifice of telling it. It literally is what is not literal. Little by little, their lives become more and more out of the ordinary, even more so than Nichijou. Strange, not only the two main characters, now this girl have books on her head, and this one has an octopus for a twin sister, huh? With each passing chapter, their daily adventures become more and more absurd, and little by little start to fish out strange things, especially when it comes to Shijima's sister. Shimeji Simulation is sensational, but it's understandable that not many people will like it very much. Despite being a different story from Shoujo Shumatsu and having a completely different setting and way of telling things, you can still perfectly feel Tsukumizu's way of telling stories, which is very difficult to explain it, to be honest. It's an environmentalization that makes you consider existence itself and what its limits are. In a story, you are shown human physical limits in a place with extremely little, and on the other, what exactly are the limits of imagination, a place that has a lot, and what happens in here. If you liked Girls Last Tour, it's 100% sure that you will like Shimeji Simulation, but if you don't like Shoujo Shumatsu, your opinion will be the same with Shimeji. There's no way to expect that everyone will enjoy a completely absurd story in the midst of ignorance normality, and there's nothing wrong with that. But whoever likes or is willing to immerse themselves in this nonsense of a girl with an egg on her head and another with mushrooms growing, you will certainly be rewarded with sensational things and ideas that make your imagination soar to infinity. You enjoy the story itself, but you also enjoy all the existential charge that it wants to show you and make you think about life, what is imagination, and everything you can do when there's nothing holding you back, when the limits are only inside your head, but also showing you that not even a perfect environment things are perfect, and what people call reality is just a small facet of our world. The neighbors look suspiciously similar to Chi and you, huh?